Hello everybody, you joined me about 2,200 metres above sea level just outside of Wiltshire in a top secret location that is absolutely, will never be disclosed. So why am I here? Well, partly I wanted to do some alpine photography for the first time. Results are mixed, but fun. But the main reason I wanted to talk was that I wanted to talk to viewers about why I like trains. It's an interesting question to think about. Like, why do you like something? You could just say, well, because I like it, but that's a bit circular. I mean, I like pizza, and I like eating toast, and I also love drinking Ribena, and I also like cycling. But I can't just use that as a reason for why I like those activities. I need to explain it. So I wanted to sort of think about it. Think about why I like this activity, why I like train spotting, why I like trains. And I've been trying to think about it for quite a while because it's a very, very, very interesting question. So here's my attempt to explain it. Just whilst I look around, again, just outside of Wiltshire. Hopefully you'll enjoy the views of just outside Wiltshire as well as I explain. So, when I was younger, I remember two trains when I was young. Well, no, tell I have three trains going over them. The first train I remember when I was younger was a 1973 tube stock at Hatton Cross. The second train I remember was a Class 319 in Thames livery at Luton. I was boarding Luton as we were seeing somebody who had passed away not too long afterwards. And the third train, I didn't know what it was when I was younger. I was at Feltham and I just saw something. It was greyish green going over the level crossing. And for years, because remember this was before like having access to Wikipedia on your phone and stuff, you couldn't just or use Google Lens, because way before Google Lens, you just had to go. I just went, what was that? And I couldn't ask my mum because she didn't know. Like she would know. I just saw it just in the back of my shop, in the back of my eyes and stuff. I just to the side. Now that I'm older, I do know exactly what this train was. It was a Class 170 in Anglia. But I always remember that because why would I remember something so insignificant? But at the same time, it could be kind of useful and interesting to tell people, because why would a train like that be running around Feltham? But now we know it was a London Crosslink service that was, well, I don't think it, well, obviously it lasted only a couple of years before they ditched that idea. I remember things like that. I remember very small details that just feel almost unnecessary to some people. But then it goes further, because then I start remembering tube maps. I remember various locales I've never really will go back to. Like, I remember going to Benfleet Station. I start forming memories of certain trains. When I was younger, I used to be terrified of holding the handles on the edge of the seat of the Class 357, because when we were going to Benfleet on one, the first time I grabbed onto it, the brakes started to apply, so I naturally thought, if you grab onto that, the brakes will apply. So, I actually just got scared, and I still remember that. It's just kind of funny. But, it's sort of, I'm starting to form memories of these metal oblongs, because of how much I've used them over the years. Because, keep in mind, we don't drive. My dad drives, but my dad deserves a video in the future, maybe. I don't actually know. Keep family matters out of it. Stuff that. Unless something really heinous happens, which, I mean, being lazy is not heinous, but look. Anyway, the point is that my mum didn't have a car, and because she was in a position where she didn't need a car, she lived in London. She raised us in London, where we had access to buses that were so frequent we would get annoyed if one was 10 minutes away. So I do consider myself fortunate in that. But I have so many memories of different trains and learning about different trains, because that's what it sort of goes down. Because when there's something that interests me, I want to learn more about it. Take the place we are in outside of Wiltshire. Okay, I want to learn about this place because this looks interesting. Look, the views are extraordinary. Granted, they are given we've got bad conditions at the moment, so they aren't as good. But hey, we have to play life with the hand that we're dealt with, so we can't whine forever. But this place, I want to learn about this place. I want to learn why this place has this climate, which, okay, obviously we're in Switzerland, near the Alps. Okay, there you go. But I wanted to know that. And let's use a train example. Let's take what's an interesting train? I'm trying to think, there's so many. Let's pick a train that's not that interesting. The Class 455. I don't like the 455, but there's some interesting things about it. The motors, the traction motors are nicked from old suburban trains from the 1930s and 40s. The design of it is very similar to other it's essentially similar to other, what's it called, No, I don't think classes is Mark III body shell. I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head, apologies. But you can sort of see the pattern I'm emerging of why I find trains interesting and why I like them so much. And even when I was in school, and I was, young and still was only just discovering the likes of YouTube and Wikipedia, I wanted to share this knowledge with other people, because I thought, hey, why should I be cursed with only just knowing little bits and pieces here? I want to enlighten people with more. So in year 5, which is, I believe, roughly grade 5 for my American viewers, I made a presentation called My Story on Trains, where I would tell people about trains, like describe different types of trains and show the different kinds of trains that we have running in the UK, for example. And even when I was younger, I knew if you want to tell people something about trains and talk to people about trains, make them interesting. Don't read Wikipedia. Spin your own story or tell people interesting things. The Pacer will always be my go-to meme machine of trains, because just everything about it is so funny. But it's at the same time also so interesting. You have it's a bus body plastered onto a freight wagon with only 4 wheels, with a bus engine and bus transmission when they first introduced them. Granted, they were upgraded so it had a more normal diesel engine and a more normal transmission. But oh yeah, don't forget bus seats. How can I forget Slimmy? Some of those lasted much longer than they really should have. But you see, that's interesting. No one's going to call the Pacer boring, terrible, horrible, a waste of space, a punishment on the North Shore, but boring? Nuh-uh. I will never accept calling the Pacer boring. Coupled to me just wanting to learn more and more about trains, like I mentioned, because after I discovered Microsoft Train Simulator, and the game introduced me to trains not just in the UK, but Belgium, the Netherlands. Oh, I still remember the first time I saw the NS Verm. Whoa, trains can be double-decker? Yes, they can, Daniel. Yes, they can. Better yet, the TGV Duplex shows that trains can be double-decker and high-speed. Yes, fascinating. But coupled along with all that, it pretty much just tells me that, you know what, these trains are really interesting, but more importantly, I feel like this is probably why I like trains. They're just so fascinating to me, of their construction, their stories, their uses, what you can do with them, what they can do in general. Okay, sure, a car can drive you many places, but there are some places you just can't drive, like here, for example. This place is actually cut off from most cars, I think, in the winter months, I believe. Unless I've read the Wikipedia page wrong, but yeah, I get it. I don't have, a stigma against cars like most transport urbanists do. I love trains, but I feel like my mixed... The point here is that, because you can probably tell I'm doing this unscripted, but that's okay. That's okay. I just wanted to basically explain that trains are cool, and if anyone comes up to you and says you're a nerd for liking trains, just say, cool. Let them get upset that you have a hobby. Thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy Just Outside of Vulture.